Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Tonight, taking a look at Kaz from the Star Wars Resistance cartoon, so let's head to that table and check this guy out. And here's a look at Kaz on that Star Wars Resistance action figure card. Everything looking in line with what you've seen in the Resistance figures. Some blue swooshes on that white background. Nice artwork of Kaz off to the right side. And then through the bubble, of course, you see the figure with his two included accessories. On the back side, top half, you got a brief write-up about Kaz, with that same artwork from the front side being shown off here on the middle. Off to the right of that, two other figures that are also available in this line separately. And the rest of that card on the bottom is your legal information. And now taking a look at that action figure. Overall, it's a really good looking figure. I think there's a few things here and there, but overall, Hasbro really nails it when it comes to taking characters from an animated show and making them into a plastic form. Going in closer for that head sculpt. Overall, a pretty close resemblance to Kaz. I do feel like the face on this sculpt is a bit too, like rectangular. His jaw seems to be a little slimmer than it should be. It seems like in the show his face is a little more round. Like I said, it is still a pretty good resemblance for the most part. Although I gotta say, the eyes come across as more red than brown, so he does seem to have a little Sith appearance to him here. But the painting for the hair is looking good, even the dark gray along the sides. Eyebrows for the most part seem to be looking pretty good also. One of the accessories he comes with is his helmet, and I'll go ahead and touch on that now, because why not? It kind of completes the look. And with this same thing here, the design looks like it jumped right out of the screen. The bits of red and white painting are all appropriate. Touches of gold off to the side of the helmet, and then along the top you've got a gold stripe with that gold checker pattern. The painting is done just very well throughout this piece. Some touches of silver also on the side of the helmet for that antenna and maybe a little comm system or something. For the visor, this is great to see. He's got some yellow tinted plastic. And actually what I should say is that the whole helmet is done in that yellow tinted plastic. It's just everything else is what is actually painted. So the white also is done very nicely. It fits over his head nicely, and it is also a nice snug fit. So the proportions of the head without the helmet on are pretty true. And that is the same case when the helmet is also on. Things are still looking appropriately scaled for the figure. As far as costume, coloring looks fantastic. Nice, bright, vibrant colors here. All the greens are used appropriately. The gray on the sides of his shoulders. A couple black stripes in there for some pockets. Otherwise, though, I do feel like through the chest, through the legs, he's a little bit slimmer than he should be. Could just be in the show that jacket seems like it's opened up a little bit more. And in this case, it's really just hugging the body. And as far as that jacket that he has on, or at least the vest portion, it is separately sculpted. I don't want to peel too hard, so I can't say whether it's actually got any glue on it at any point, but it does hug the body pretty tight. The designs on the sleeves are pretty well represented from what we saw in the animated show. And on the backside, everything here is looking pretty clean. Some nice bright green colors. Little quilted pattern off to the bottom sides of the jacket. And then through the sides of the jacket on the front, that quilted pattern continues. Nice silver belt buckle painted in. And continuing on from that belt buckle, he's got some black straps painted in there. For the most part, that stand pretty well within the lines. And aside from the touch of green on the side of his pants, everything else down to the boots is just a nice gray color. Painting for those green stripes is looking pretty good. Some nice seams and design sculpted into those pant legs. Little bit of wrinkles on the back side of where his knee bends. And otherwise for the boots, once again, pretty clean sculpt here. And a nice sharp paint job to go along with that. As for the articulation, the head swivels all the way around. You get a little bit of movement up and down. And even a decent range of side to side movement. Both shoulders swivel all the way around. The legs bend straight out. And they go straight back. The figure comes with two accessories, the helmet and the blaster. The helmet, of course, we already talked about, so looking at that blaster, this is the same one that was released with the Poe Dameron for this Resistance line. Pretty decent sculpting to it. Aside from that all silver color, no other special painting or anything. It's pretty standard for this basic line. And that blaster can be held in either his right or left hand. It both fits in there equally. No holster on the figure, so if you don't want him displayed with it, you're going to have to set this one off to the side. So overall, this is a pretty good looking figure. Like I said, maybe just a little off on the way the face is done. Maybe the body isn't as wide, a little too slim, but that's being pretty nitpicky for what is otherwise a pretty fantastic figure. And as expected, he fits in very well with the rest of the figures from this Resistance line. I really do hope that someday they release some of the vehicles from the show to add some more playability in for this line. And that's kind of what Star Wars figures are all about. Not only the figures, but also the vehicles and playsets. So hopefully we do get more than just figures for this line. And that wraps up this look at Kaz from the Star Wars Resistance cartoon. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this figure in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching.